Hey everybody, and welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays with the occasional bonus video. Hit that bell icon because that will alert you to when I post a new video. Before we get started as well, I told you guys that in this video I'd give you the update on how the Infusible ink transfers did with a Walmart shirt. So here is the shirt. This has been washed 2 times. And I will say that I am pretty pleased. It did fade just a small amount, but not enough that I would say that the product doesn't work. It works very, very well. It still looks nice and bright, and I think it held up really, really nicely. And we're going to do a little logo with the markers on the back of this. And we're going to use the pens, which are, these are the neon ones, I think. I think they're just called neons. Yeah, they're just the neon ones. I got these again from Michael's. You get 5 pens for $14.99. It's a little bit expensive, but I think after using these that you guys will see, I can kind of understand why these might be a little bit pricey. I do really like them, and you'll see all the fun things that you can do with them. I'm going to do other things with these as we go throughout different videos, but they're really nice. They are packaged pretty nicely. I did open this so that I could use them, and I'll just pull one out. They fit perfectly in your Cricut machine, and then you can color with them as well. So let's go over to Design Space, and I'll show you guys how we're going to make our little part that goes onto our t-shirt. We're just going to use some text for this one, and we're just going to do donut kill my vibe. So donut kill my vibe. Now I have already chosen our font because I did want to not take like a ton of time choosing a font on screen. So this one is, I believe, Ravi or Ravi. I'm not sure how you pronounce this one. But I'm going to align it centered. And then I want to stretch it out because I don't like how short the letters are. So we're going to unlock it, which is over here on the left. And all you have to do is just pull this down a little bit. And you can actually stretch it out to however big you want it. Now we're using an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So you could go relatively large if you wanted to. We're going to color this in, so I don't want to make it huge. I think that's probably decent. So the one thing that you want to make sure that you do is when you go to make this, you're going to need to mirror it. So a lot of times, to save myself the hassle of trying to remember to do that, I just flip my image over here in Design Space just so that I don't have to try to remember. And we're going to go ahead and make sure to attach that so that it doesn't rearrange our letters. Let's go ahead, and when you click Make It, it's going to show you the thing on the screen. And you don't necessarily have to change this, but I'm going to change it just to an 8.5 by 11 just so I know that it fits. And we're going to go ahead and click Continue, except we're going to click Cancel because I did forget one step because we're not cutting this. So we want to make sure that we change this whole thing to Draw. So up here under Line Type, select Draw, and you'll see that it turns them all into just bubble letters, which is exactly what we want because we're going to color this in with our markers. So go ahead and tell it 8.5 by 11. I'm going to click Continue, and we're not going to have this cut out at all, so you don't have to worry necessarily about choosing your material type. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to load my machine. Usually it doesn't, but every once in a while it does. So I'm just going to tell it it's copy paper. No big deal because we're not going to cut this. And then it's telling us we need the black tip pen, but you can use one of your markers. So I'm going to go over to the machine and show you guys how we're going to load our markers. We're going to use the blue marker, and we're just going to, all you do is uncap it, and then this one, which is your A side, is for your pen if you're using the Maker or the Explorer Air 2. So we'll go ahead, and all you're going to do is just insert your marker, and I totally missed, but until it clicks. And then close your clamp in B. And then this, you just use some laser copy paper, so it's nothing too crazy. I'm going to slide you guys back just a little bit, sorry about the bouncing, just so that I can fit the mat in because I want you guys to see it writing. So we're going to go ahead and load our mat. I just put this on the blue mat. It's not super sticky, so hopefully it won't lift, but it shouldn't because we're just writing. We're not actually cutting. So we're going to have to catch it before it goes to cut. But it shouldn't be an issue. It's usually pretty easy to catch it before it decides it wants to just cut it. So you can see how nice and bold it's writing. It's a really nice bold color. I think with these, and I haven't used them yet, so I think we're going to see a really nice color come out of these on our shirt. And I think it's going to be a little bit more true to the color that it shows on our paper. But we're going to do a quick color on this because we're going to color them in with the other markers that we have. Because with the neons, you got blue, you got yellow, green, orange, and like a pink. So we'll use those and color them in. But like I said, we're going to have to make sure that we catch it before it tries to start cutting because we don't want it to cut this out. I probably could have put a square around it just to allow it to cut to save us the trouble of having to catch it before it cuts, and there's probably a way to not cut when it's just set to draw, but we'll find out if it's going to do this. The last couple ones I've made, I think mostly cut them out because I had a shape behind them. I haven't done draw a whole lot, so this is kind of a learning thing for both you and I. But I think this is going to be kind of cute. I think it's just fun. Like I said, I wanted to add something to my shirt so that it would match the rest of the shirt. That way I'm not wasting a whole shirt because I hate wasting things. You guys will notice on my channel a lot, I cut really close to all my designs and things like that. So I want to make sure that I'm not wasting product, and especially like when it's expensive. These pens were $14.99. So it does get pretty pricey if you want to start doing these things. It's not a cheap event. So, okay, yep, it's not going to cut, which is good. So we're going to unload it, and let's get our pen out, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So you just unclamp, and I usually will hold this part down, and then I just pull up, and that's how you get your pen out. And then I'll show you guys me coloring this in, and we can then apply it to our shirt. Just like when we did the ink transfers, which were the sheets, you want to make sure that you take a lint roller over your design area. You don't want any kind of fuzzies or hair or anything like that under your design. So you just want to make sure that you take a lint roller. And again, this is that George brand 65% polyester shirt. Now with this, they do recommend using a heat tape, but I'm a rebel and I don't have any heat tape, so we're going to go ahead and do this without. But I will say, if you're going to do this, I do recommend using a heat tape in order to hold your design to your shirt, because we're just going to set it down on our shirt and hope that we keep it where it's supposed to be. But you can see I've got it all colored in, and we'll put it on the shirt face down so that this side you can see the words, and we'll just kind of stick it here. We will put something in between our shirt. We're going to put a piece of cardstock in there to stop any of the bleed coming through, and then we'll go to our heat press. You have to set your heat press at 400 degrees, and I do believe it is for 30 seconds with a medium-ish pressure. They really just say to set your easy press on here, but I did find when doing the transfer sheet that it did need just a little bit of pressure. So I think this is probably going to be the same kind of deal where it's going to need just a little extra pressure. So let's let the heat press heat up, and then we will get to put this together. So the first thing that we needed to do was set our heat press to 385, and then we need to preheat our fabric for about 15 seconds. So we're just going to go ahead and use our timer. And I did put the butcher paper down. I did that so that just in case there was any kind of dirt or smudge on my heat press, which there shouldn't be, it does protect the white fabric from any of that dirt or smudging. So that's been about 15 seconds. We'll just turn the timer off. And then what you're going to do, and I did put a piece of cardstock like I talked to you guys about between the shirt's front and back, and then we're just going to lay our design down. And again, I don't totally care if it's centered. I'm never going to wear the shirt, but if you're centering it, just make sure you take a little more time. So you want to make sure that it has the pen side down, and then you're going to press, and you're pressing with a medium pressure, and you're going to press for the full 30 seconds with that butcher paper in between your copy paper and your shirt. So we're going to let that go. I'm not going to make you sit here for 30 seconds. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We're going to lift up our press. We're going to go ahead and press that down to stop the beeping. And what we're going to do now is let this sit for just a couple of moments because it is a warm peel. So we're going to let it cool down. I'm going to carefully take my butcher paper. Well, apparently it's all going to come off. So we're just going to go ahead and pull the whole thing off. Now again, I feel like I'm getting a bit of a funky thing, and I realize now that my t-shirt was bunched up a little bit. So that's why it didn't press very well over here, but it did press really, really well, and it is super cute. So let's pull it off. We're going to turn off our heat press here in just a second, and then we can show you this. Let me flick this off because it's real hot, and I'll get you guys nice up close. Now again, this one was my fault. This is all my bad, because I had the shirt bunched up and I didn't realize it, so make sure you do check that. But look at how cool that is. Like, I think the colors are pretty gosh darn bright, with the exception of the orange, but orange is a tough one to get bright, but I think the pink is really bright, other than where it's not from where, you know, from where I pressed it. The yellow isn't incredibly bright, but it's still pretty good. But I think the pink and the green are both really nice colors, and so is that blue. This is really a cool product, and I will do some other things with this. I'm going to show you guys how you can have your kids write a message and then you can put it on a shirt. So we're going to do that soon. We're going to do all kinds of cool stuff, but I think this came out pretty good. It's a nice feel. It smells much better than the actual transfer sheets. There was no scent to this as I was heating it, which I really liked. Again, you can see where it definitely didn't press, so you do want to make sure to have a nice even pressing surface. I should have double checked that, and I didn't. But I think it came out really nice. It was really easy to do. The pens were super easy to work with. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time. Hit that bell icon. That will alert you to when I post a new video. I hope you guys have a great day and happy crafting.